What is going on, everyone? Hope you guys are doing well. Super mad at myself. I recorded a 20-minute video. Audio wasn't on, but it's on now. I can guarantee it. Hope you guys are doing great. Today we're coming to you with a crypto video talking about layer 1 solutions as promised. So let's go ahead and get straight into this thing. First and foremost, as you guys know, my biggest goal with this, whether it's channel or, Telegram chat, is to help you guys understand a little bit better, why you should be investing into cryptocurrencies, when you should be investing into them, and really just knowing what they are and why they're important. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about layer 1 solutions. And so in order to do that, I brought up a little chart here that kind of helps us break down and get a little bit of a better understanding of, how these different cryptocurrencies work, these different blockchains specifically, and what makes them better, what makes them worse, all this cool stuff, which in turn does affect the overall price point and the use of each crypto. So as we all know, we're going to get started with the internet of cryptocurrency, and let's talk about Ethereum. So before we get into Solana, which I know is the biggest one here, Ethereum is a pretty diverse form of blockchain, right? Because like I said, it's called the internet of crypto, and in this specific blockchain, we've seen a lot of different uses for it. We've seen people create swapping mechanisms, exchange mechanisms. We've seen people create NFTs. We've seen people create DeFi. I mean, there's so many different use cases for Ethereum on their blockchain. And right now, as Ethereum is beginning to grow, all we're seeing is, as we scale, it becoming a little bit more expensive and a little bit more a little bit of an increased cost of entry for people that want to get involved with the actual space, as far as starting stakes and things like that. But nonetheless, let's talk a little bit about why that is and what solutions are in place to be able to help that kind of move forward. First and foremost, let's talk about these 4 different things over here on the left side of the screen. We have number 1, transaction throughput, number 2, transaction fees, transaction finality, and then consensus mechanism. So we'll start off with first, transaction throughput. Ethereum has a transaction throughput of about 17 transactions per second. So every second, about 17 transactions are going through. And if we look at how many ETH holders there are, I mean, there's already at this point millions of people who are using Ethereum and who are holding Ethereum and who transact with Ethereum every single day. And the crazy thing to kind of think is, like, 17 transactions per second doesn't really sound like a lot if eventually it's going to become a world where hundreds of millions of people are transacting through Ethereum every single day. So 17 transactions per second. Currently, a transaction fee is about $2 cap. That's about 4 to 5. It can get as high as 10 to 12. And then, I mean, for other things like, exchanging or swapping on Uniswap and stuff like that, it just gets way crazier. So we'll call that cap for now. I mean, right? Transaction finality, you get about 35 blocks in about 5 minutes. And then finally, a consensus mechanism, which is pretty much how the actual blockchain system works. Proof of work, which is specifically rooted in the mining of Ethereum. So as you guys know, Bitcoin is a mined coin. Ethereum is also a mined coin. Through this mining process, right, Ethereum miners are paid for validating Ethereum transactions, and then they sell off their ETH for profit, and then from there they end up dumping ETH price, which in this case is, like I'm explaining it, doesn't sound like a positive thing. It's not a positive thing. It's actually also something that's harming the environment. One of the biggest things about Ethereum specifically and what they're doing, isn't that they're harming the environment, but overall, the proof of work mechanism isn't something that's environmentally friendly. So if you've seen that whole conversation with Elon Musk and the wanting Bitcoin or ETH or all these different things to be a little bit more environmentally friendly, this is something that proof of work actually is kind of working against. And unless people get into renewable energy, that really won't change much. But something that can fix it is proof of stake. And that's why ETH 2.0 is coming out. ETH 2.0 is going to turn Ethereum into a proof of stake mechanism, which is going to turn it very similar to like how you guys see Solana is, and other different cryptocurrencies as well. We're not going to get too deep into EOS, Cardano, Tezos, and Stellar, but we will get a little bit deeper into Solana. Now, Ethereum specifically, the biggest issue that it's facing is the fact that right now, if you want to transact, fees are getting expensive. When Ethereum network gets very, very congested, fees go up. I don't know if you guys have seen, maybe being charged $10, $20, $45, $100, even up to $300 at the peak times where people are buying or selling off cryptos. you being charged those fees, it's ridiculous. Nobody wants to pay that to get involved into a cryptocurrency. And so, yes, maybe if you had hundreds of thousands of dollars or whatever, millions of dollars, you wouldn't care, but those fees do add up. And so high fees do not reflect a very scalable system. So we need solutions for that. And that's where layer one solutions come to be. A lot of layer one solutions can be considered as, replacements, or it can be used as, they can be seen as bridging protocols that can be connected to Ethereum. In this specific case, Solana it can be considered a layer one solution, something that is trying to remove or ease the load off of Ethereum as it scales into becoming bigger. But overall, Solana in itself is a very, very fast, very efficient blockchain, and there's a lot of people building on the Solana ecosystem right now, which is representing a very, very big part of the market cap as it starts to grow over the next couple of months, as it has already over the past year. Solana right now is trading at over $100, and that's very impressive. It's number 9 coin, I think, in the world. It's finally made it above the top, into the top 10, and a lot of those reasons is because of what we're about to talk about today. So a transaction throughput for Solana can be seen as at about 59,000 transactions per second. On average, you're going to see a transaction fee of hundredths of a second, or even thousands of a penny, hundreds of a penny. And then, of course, transactions take only about 4 seconds to mine a block. So way faster, way more efficient than Ethereum. And then last but not least, it runs a proof of stake mechanism, which also makes it a lot more environmentally friendly, because like how we were talking about, it doesn't require people to run a GPU, to run a computer to mine Solana. All you have to do is stake it. The network itself runs it, and it prints or it inflates the coin, creating more Solana, and then in turn, paying people out in fees for staking their coin. So this is really important because you see, right now, Solana is an ecosystem that can be growing independently, but what's going to really help it move forward isn't so much being the Ethereum killer, right? We're not talking about Ethereum dying off, about all these things that are currently right now on Ethereum eventually becoming less, but we're talking about other blockchains probably helping or, making things more efficient for Ethereum as a whole right now. I think if you try to go up against Ethereum, you're going to lose. But if you do your best to complement it, I think it's a very key way to get into the game, and then eventually probably scale your way above ETH if that ever does happen, right? I think a world where, a Solana can be better, or a Pulse chain can be better, or a Mina protocol can be better. It can happen, but it really just depends on how the future plays out and how these blockchains work with one another. And a very important aspect of that is bridging. Ethereum and Solana, you can't trade within both of them. I can't send you ETH to your Solana wallet because there isn't a bridging mechanism that connects both of those blockchains together. In order for them to work together, you got to bridge them or create a bridge that allows you to transact through those blockchains and then get your coins on the other blockchain. So, EOS is very successful at doing things like that with, Binance Smart Chain and all this other stuff. Ethereum is currently doing it with like Warped ETH. I'm not going to get too deep into all that stuff, but understand that Solana right now is working its way towards becoming a very effective ecosystem. And as bridging becomes a part of its work, and it's, development, I promise you, it can become a very key source to helping Ethereum scale, and as well as helping new product use cases build upon Solana that can also be leveraged on Ethereum. And so Solana right now is growing at the pace that it's growing at. If we go ahead and we open up right now Nomics, and we look at where everything is, the different prices. Currently, we see Solana at number 9 at $106 with a $30 billion market cap, very young. If we see literally Solana 10x from where it's at, it's a $300 billion coin. It would go ahead to $1,000 a coin or $1,100 a coin, and we'd be where pretty much Ethereum is right now, while the market is still down. So something to consider, guys. It's very early for Solana. I would love to see a dip on this coin. I would love to be able to go ahead and enter if we haven't entered already. Well, for me, enter again, but for those of you who haven't entered, to enter and, get some profits off of this, what can potentially be a nice and very solid ecosystem. Another potential layer one solution that can grow over time. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, Mina protocol is a up and coming blockchain, which is also very efficient, very effective, very quick transaction speed. The same way that we were talking about ETH and Solana, we're going to be talking a little bit about Mina here because it's said to be the world's lightest blockchain, and it's powered by participants. So it also has a proof of it has a specific type of mechanism that makes it work. I'm not really too exactly sure right now. I don't want to butcher it and tell you something that isn't right, but I will say that it is a very unique design, and it is something that is actually helping people transact a lot faster and a lot more effectively and in new ways that we haven't seen before. And so the reason why I actually wanted to highlight this was because I'm personally invested in Mina. I've told my people here on DIVE.FX or on my YouTube channel to purchase Mina token. And specific is because of the way that Mina works. So if you look at this kind of comparison side by side right here, between Mina blockchain and then other blockchains, you see that a blockchain over time increases in size because of the fact that a blockchain has to carry all of this data, right? The blocks just become bigger and bigger and bigger. But over here, a blockchain of Mina has only a fixed size, or each block has a fixed size of about 22 kilobytes. And so the best example I can give you guys is that essentially the way Mina works is it takes a picture, or almost like a snapshot of the specific block instead of storing all the data on the block, and it uses that information as a validator, or as a essentially as a copy to validate that the transaction went through and that it's been confirmed multiple times. So while these blockchains are looking at the prior data that's already on the blockchain, this is looking at the picture within the picture. The best example I can give you, and I honestly thought about this on the fly, is if I put up my OBS right here and I showed you guys my screen, and in the screen you see more screens. So I can see other screens within my screen. That's pretty much what Mina protocol is doing. It's literally creating a snapshot within a snapshot. And so if I send a transaction, right, or if this piece of data, let's say my logo, right, that you guys can see is right here, and then over here there's another or you see the picture of the logo as well, but it's the picture within the picture. You can validate that the logo is there because it's within the picture of the picture, right? And the logo is also there, but it's also over here, and then so on and so forth. So this is kind of how it works. Without having to add more data, it validates it through that snapshot because it sees through the snapshot. It's a kind of crazy concept, but it does work, and Mina is gaining a lot of traction. Right now it's trading at about $3. If you guys aren't invested into Mina, it was at $1 a few weeks ago, if not a month ago. Let me see. And currently it is trading at about $3.53. We've seen a lot of price action here with Mina. I'm personally invested at about $3.40. It's traded as high as $52. So if you right now want to currently purchase some, it's at a great price. Go ahead and do so. I'm currently invested into Mina. I think it's going to be a really big protocol that can hopefully take us, to some profit. So really excited about that. Currently a market cap of about $727 million. And last but not least, before we go ahead and stop talking about layer 1 solutions, another potential great investment that you guys can put your money into, because we are talking about investments, is Pulse Chain. And a lot of you have heard about me talking about Pulse Chain if you've been on this channel, or if you've been in this broadcast system, whether it's DIVE or Forex, whatever. You guys have been seeing me talk about Pulse Chain. You see me talk about Hex. Pulse Chain specifically is a creation of the owner of Hex, Richard Hart, and it was created with the intent of helping Ethereum become better. And it's actually going to be a fork of Ethereum, the same way Dogecoin is a fork of Bitcoin, right? It's a copy of the overall system. They just made another and they named it something else. This is going to be a copy of it. It's a fork, but it's going to be programmed differently. But essentially, you're going to have everything that you have in your ETH wallets right now, all your NFTs, all the coins you have, all your ERC20s, you're going to have them in Pulse Chain as well. The sacrifice phase is currently over, so in order to get into it, it's kind of done. You're going to have to buy it at whatever the price starts at in the future. We talked a lot about this, but my goal here is to help you guys understand what Pulse Chain's goals are and why it's going to be a little bit better than, maybe trading or doing certain things on Ethereum. So first goal is to increase Ethereum's value. That's really the most important part about Pulse Chain. It's not here to replace. It's not here to overpower Ethereum, even though it can become bigger and it can become a place where people would love to transact more. The goal right now is to assist in Ethereum's growth, to take the load off of it, right? To share the load of ETH. It's currently used right now. Its focus right now is to enrich Ethereum users. So Pulse Chain will re-enable priced out use cases. So, for example, certain things that just you aren't able to do because it's too expensive to do it on ETH, you'll be able to do it on Pulse Chain. And Pulse Chain is going to be created to be able to bridge or connect specifically ETH and Pulse Chain together. So anything you do on one, you can do on the other. There may be certain prices for certain things, but there will be that bridge that you can leverage. And then, of course, Pulse Chain brings ETH system state and ERC20s. This rewards holders and founders of Ethereum-based projects. enrich ERC20 and NFT users. So you're going to get a massive airdrop. There's going to be a day where a big airdrop is going to be given to all ETH holders. You're going to be receiving a bunch of Pulse Chain depending on how much ETH you have. And you're going to receive a copy of your NFTs on the Pulse Chain system. So you're going to be able to leverage that. It's going to be super easy to use. It's going to be used on MetaMask. It's going to lower Pulse Chain fees and serve more users. So Pulse Chain pretty much its goal or its focus is having a throughput that's 4 times faster than Ethereum, and it's looking to have 3-second block times. So it's not as fast as maybe Solana, but it will be a lot more efficient. Ethereum's average block time is about 13 seconds right now. So it will be a lot faster than ETH currently is, and it will help with the scalability of it in the future. The goal is also to remove pollution. So like we were talking about, guys, by replacing proof of work miners with proof of stake validators, Pulse Chain doesn't burn / waste any energy, making it environmentally friendly. So like what we were talking about, these people don't have to run computers to make Pulse Chain work. It's all built into the ecosystem. The validators will do that through the staking mechanism that's built into it. It's going to improve game theory. So in this case, because of the way PLS is built, Pulse, it's going to be a 0% inflation coin. People are only going to be paid out by and incentivized by it being a validator, right? So they're going to earn fees, and then 25% of the fees are going to be burned to reduce the circulating supply. So hopefully we're going to see actually less supply over time, even though, yes, it does inflate through the staking mechanism. The goal is to have 0% inflation and actually maybe reduce the supply over time based on how many people are using it and how many people are transacting through it, which is, simple basic economics. If you think about it, you're going to be doing something where, if you reduce the supply of the overall Pulse Chain, what you earn technically goes up in value because there's less of it, right? Simple supply and demand. And then, of course, last but not least, empowering Pulse Chain holders. So Pulse Chain's native token PLS can be staked and delegated to validators that reward the delegators with the largest percentage of fees. So we will be able to stake our PLS. We will be able to receive a reward for staking it and giving it to these validators to go out there and, of course, do their thing with it, and they get paid for doing so. But that we're going to go over it maybe some other time. All in all, the overall focus is to create an interoperable bridging system that connects ETH to Pulse Chain and then Pulse Chain to ETH. So here, our goal, like I said, is to create a intertwined system with ETH. And so this is what I'm talking about. Layer 1 solutions, things that are making it more effective for the future of something to become better. Now, even though Solana may not be at that level where its main focus is that, it's really to create another blockchain, as is Cardano, as is all these different things. PLS is specifically focused on helping ETH become better. So I like it, and I really want to see this grow, not just because of the fact that it's such a well-built system. The thought process behind it is great, but if we go ahead and we open the crypto Telegram for Pulse Chain, as you guys can see, there's already over 38,000 people that are communicating, talking about this, and looking back and forth at why PLS is going to be big, what's going to happen to it, all this information. They're talking about it in these chats that you guys can definitely join and become a part of, as you are a part of mine right now. Right, we can even do live video chats or participate in live voice calls to learn about these individuals who are talking about it. And guys, just get involved with Pulse Chain. There's already a massive community. The coin hasn't even launched yet, and there's already 38,000 people looking into this. So imagine when it does launch, it can potentially in the next, year, 2 years, 3 years become a massive project because of how many people are already involved before the system is even up, right? If you look at Hex, which is created first, and then, Pulse Chain, which is being created next, there's actually more people in the Pulse Chain chat than there are in the Hex chat. So Hex is already the top 2, top 3 coin in the world, right? With over 100 billion in market cap, right? Right now, 144 billion in market cap, 25 cents. Phenomenal. It's doing an amazing job. Look at that chart, bro. It's just fucking crazy. I love to see it, right? Look at this chart. It's the best chart in cryptocurrency. It's doing an amazing job. And, the next thing that we want to focus on is, of course, Pulse Chain. What is Pulse Chain going to do to it? Understand that there will be Hex on Pulse Chain, right? You'll have EHEX, which is ETH Hex, and then we're going to have Hex, which is Pulse Chain Hex, which is going to be the main Hex that, we want to see. And it's going to be cheaper as well because we're going to receive an opportunity to buy it at first, right? It's not gonna be the same price as it is on the ETH system. So guys, look, my biggest goal here is to help you understand layer 1 solutions are here to help and assist certain blockchains or protocols to become better. I think Pulse Chain's doing a great job of that. I think Solana is growing because it's doing a good job at being a better version of ETH, but can it connect ETH and make ETH better and intertwine the users of ETH with Solana? Can that happen in the future? Can Mina do that? Well, we want to look at those and we want to see if they can create those solutions. And you can see that, layer 1 solutions being created for Bitcoin and all this other stuff. But right now, it's really interesting me is the ones that are going to be created for ETH, because ETH still has problems. ETH still can become better. And I know Pulse Chain is doing a great job of that. And I want to keep you guys informed and make sure you guys are understanding this information too. And so, guys, with that being said, I hope you learned something new today. These layer 1 solution videos are going to keep coming for you guys, so you guys can keep learning a little bit more. We're going to, of course, keep talking about more. But if you don't do so already, make sure that you are following me in the DIVE.forex and in the DIVE cryptocurrency group chats, right, on Telegram. And if you are on my YouTube channel, if you guys are currently watching this through YouTube, make sure you guys are liking and subscribing. Make sure you comment down below any questions. I'll be able to go ahead and respond to any questions that you have on this video and help you guys get as informed as possible, give you guys direct links to the chats, and keep you guys around the information as much as I can. Guys, with that being said, this is a good and informative video on layer 1 solutions, some of the ones that I think are going to be very, very important for the future, and some that you guys can take advantage of and invest into as they release. All those updates will be, of course, in the Telegram chat. I appreciate you. I thank you so much for taking the time to watch these videos, and I hope you guys have an amazing day. Take care.